that can't make it here. Webcams right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Pastor Will Brown. He is from the Christian Community Church right here in town. And why I brought him in is they have a lot of community events and a life center that offers a lot of great stuff that most of the community, even I didn't know about until I met him through the leads class that we do for the Chemical Leads. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Pastor William and let him tell you about the Community Center.
Thank you, John, for inviting me to come. I don't know what churches you go to. I don't know what clergy you have interacted with over the years, but I come here not in competition, but just glad to be a part of the community together. So if you want to tell me your church story, great. I'm not asking you to come to my church today. That's not what it is. I'm just glad to be a part of the community. So yes, I've been here in Camdenton for about 7.5 years, and I brought the attitude of, we have this building, a very large building, that lots of people have given a lot of money and time and commitment to over the decades. Many of them have passed away or are unable to appreciate everything that building can offer. But I came in and I just said, I don't want the lights out. Let's use this building because it doesn't benefit anybody if the lights are out. And so if we have to paint a wall again, great. If we have to repair a hole in the wall, great. If we wear out the carpet, great. So, that's a good thing. We're using the building. And so the church is so much more than the building. But in this case, the church that I'm serving, we have a building that we want to share with the community. So we offer, it's worked out great because people need space. And we're the best deal in town is what I say financially. It's never a money issue. We do have a very large gym. And so our what do you know happens in our gym 6 days a week? Does anybody know what happens? The fastest growing sport there is in the United States, pickleball. That's right. And that was happening way before I got here. I'm not taking credit for any of this other than the attitude of let's use the building because this is an important community asset alongside all the other assets we have here. So 6 days a week we have pickleball. If you have any background in ping pong or in tennis, you will pick it up very, very quickly. It is not for young people only. It is for all ages. I have played with 90-plus-year-olds out there on the courts. It is so much fun. So we open, they don't even have an association. They used to have like a club, but now that club has disbanded. There's lots of places to play pickleball around the lake. We are just one indoor location. So if you have lots of experience, you could come at like 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're like, I've never played before and I want to try it out, 1 o'clock in the afternoon is probably your best time to come. And now like from the 11 to 1 slot, there's like an intermediate. And then let's just say you have family coming and you've got 6 of you and you want to play pickleball for a couple hours. We'll find a time for you to come and play. You don't even have to, we can just reserve the gym for you for that. So pickleball 6 days a week, well, not 7 days a week because there's now a Sunday afternoon group. So there's a lot of pickleball going on. In addition to that, we host a lot of community events. In October is the busiest. The Fiber Arts Club has their Fiber Fest. The Wood Carvers Club has, and all these are big shows. They're Saturday shows, all day Saturday. The train show, the local train shop puts on a train show. That's our October. Usually there's a wedding thrown in there as well on the other weekend. And I want to mention that we have an outdoor, you call it amphitheater. It's not that big actually. Imagine church camp, like a really cool little outdoor chapel at a church camp. That's what this is. It's beautiful, just beautiful setting. People have funerals, concerts, small concerts, weddings. My favorite wedding I officiated, there was a butterfly that kept landing on the bride's dress, right on her shoulder. I mean, it was so cool. So, I mean, it's a community resource. Let's say you just need a quiet moment. Right after this meeting, you're just worn out with everybody around here. Just go, oh, it's a little cold today, I know. But it's open to the public. Just walk down there and just absorb being alive and what that means and how we are community. And it is just wide open for folks to enjoy. Lots and lots of organizations, Republican Club, we have a Democrat group, we have wood carvers that are now doing some more things there. Trying to think what else. Exercise groups. I mean, we just have a lot of different people that want to utilize the space, and we provide the technology. We provide a climate controlled place for that to happen. I should also mention sports teams. If there's openings in the calendar, a lot of kids sports teams, softball and baseball, can do some of their winter practices there. If there's an opening, that's always the thing. When you come to me and say, hey, I want to start this or have this group, I'm like, well, great. Let's see where we can fit you into the calendar. So basketball, volleyball, we have a really nice volleyball setup. So we've had volleyball teams practice there too. So we just really try to use the space as much as possible. Those of you that are church-going folks say, oh, wow, they must have so many people come on Sunday mornings because they do all this. Well, that was the model that we were taught decades ago. That doesn't necessarily work, but you know what? My definition of church is not Sunday morning. It's 7 days a week, and that's what I live out. And again, it's not about just my church. It's about us being in community together and showing Christ's love. That's what it is to me. So, and to kind of reiterate my point, we had a community Thanksgiving service this last Sunday, which was a lot of fun at the Methodist Church. Love being a part of that. It's not about my building and my church. It's about our community. We had 5 different churches represented, which was pretty great. So, John, have I missed something major, or can I open it up to questions? Okay, so right, there's all kinds of things, like so many other things I'm missing, but Wednesday nights we have a community meal at 5 o'clock. You can come in person, you can put money in the bucket, or you don't have to. It's a free meal. But the other thing we do is we deliver meals on Wednesday nights or pick up. We started this with COVID. You just pull in our parking lot and we just bring the food right out to you. It's free. So you don't even have to make a donation. We do now want you to RSVP so we know how much food to have. But the other thing about this that the word hasn't gotten out, which has shocked me, is you've got a neighbor that you know needs a meal. And so once a week, they could get a warm meal delivered to their home if they don't even have transportation. Just let's get them on the list. Again, you don't have to come to our church. You don't have to go to any church. Just come, or participate, get the food. So yes, that's our Wednesday night. In addition, we have choirs and youth groups and all the traditional things you think of church. But yeah, community-minded, the meal is pretty neat every Wednesday night. Like the night before Thanksgiving, we didn't have it, but like, let's say you're on the list, we would contact you and say, well, do you need some cans of soup? Or, we can bring something in advance because folks are in the Thanksgiving mode and doing their own family thing. And so it's like the Wednesday after Christmas, the same thing. We would still not ignore you. We'd make sure you have food if you need food. So questions. I can talk about a lot more missions and ministries, but that's just the quick version of what we do.
So how long have you been at the church?
I've been here 7.5 years. Yes, it's 15. Yes.
I used to have an office up here in Canton next door to the tree on 97.
Yeah, sure.
And they've got some cool things. Kids, and the kids have got an arcade next door too. Are you involved with any of those?
I know Darren. I'm not involved with any of those things though that you mentioned. Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Cool. Yes. Yeah.
And I don't think you mentioned it, but I believe on election day you have Republican stuff, right?
Well, we have elections. I mean, that's the thing. We host the Camden County Republican Club every month. We host the big Patriot Dinner. That's in September. That's part of that fall of just event after event. We were a vaccination station, worked with the hospital. We worked with the Camden County Courts to do jury selection when they didn't have enough space during COVID to space out. And so we were able to space out for the civil and criminal jury selection. I don't know all the fancy terms. I'm stumbling over that. You obviously are the expert there. So yes, I mean, there's just event after event. You call me up and let's find a win-win situation of how we can make it work and invite the community in, whatever the event is. Yes.
So you mentioned all the pickleball.
Yeah.
Does people come play pickleball?
Okay, so again, we're the cheapest deal in town. It doesn't matter what athlete you are, if you're the 5-year-old playing the basketball or if you're the 89-year-old playing pickleball. It's $2 to $3 every time you come. And that, when you start thinking about heating and cooling that gym, we just updated the lights, which a bunch of pickleballers actually, when they were the association, before the club broke up, they helped contribute somebody to help update the lights in there. It's not very much money, and you can play for hours. Like, it's not just like an hour and then you're done. Some people stay for hours and hours and hours. So it's, yeah, $2 to $3. Yep, it's that simple. Yep.
You should bring your own beer, get along out here. You're involved in it.
Yeah, so we have plenty of things to get you started. Once you start playing for a week or two, you'll be wanting to get your own stuff, because you're into it and you want to go to Dick's or order something on Amazon. Yeah, but of course, we'll get you going. We've got plenty of starter stuff. Even like I mentioned, the family thing. You got family coming in for Christmas. We've got enough gear. Your whole family could play for an afternoon or morning, whenever you want. Yep. And my background is I have a degree from the University of Missouri in Fisheries and Wildlife, so I love the outdoors. But then I also was a teacher for 11 years, and now I've been a minister for over 10 years. So love the state of Missouri. I've lived all over the state of Missouri, and so living here at the lakes is an awesome place. And I'm really busy. I'm just pulled in so many directions, and so I'm thankful to get to know more about this group because I'm pulled in so many directions. I can't be involved in everything, but I'm thrilled to be here and want to learn more about your group and how our church can be helpful to you and how we can serve you in any way if our facilities would be helpful. So, other questions? It's fun. Yes.
So how large is your church congregation?
Right. So again, that's a very difficult question to answer because that's a very traditional.
And you got people that attend.
Right. That's a very traditional question. So before COVID, 125 to 150 people were at worship every single Sunday at our different worship services because we even in the summer, spring, we have outdoor worship at 8:30 in that beautiful outdoor setting. Post-COVID, we're not even. I mean, we've hit 100 a few times, but we're not back there. But what I try to explain to people when you think about all these groups that I just mentioned, for me, I'm serving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people because once you know me, once you've connected with me, you can text or call me at any time, and I'm there for you. And not just with the church, but just in the community. So you could say, oh, wow, that's not very many, 100 plus. But for me, it's hundreds and hundreds of people that I'm serving on behalf of this community and Community Christian Church. Yeah. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and truthfully, what I was thinking about was, and I understand the position taken, of course, those who can afford to want to give do, and those who don't,
Correct.
Provide.
Yes.
But there's a lot of cost associated with all of those things. So
yes.
I was curious as to the body of people where your regular or is the church,
correct.
How much of a burden they have, I guess. And
right.
I'm not, you don't need to give me a number.
Right. But of course, when you have a building that size that you're maintaining, I mean, just our air conditionings and furnaces, you can imagine there's a lot of just that alone. And you are right. The homeless person or think of the lowest of low of person of your stereotype. When they walk in, they get the exact same treatment as the person that put a large check in the offering plate on Sunday. I serve them the exact same way when they walk in my door, whenever I see them in the community. So, I think what I've overheard, not just this morning, but just in speaking to different local organizations, we're all struggling with money and attendance, dedication, commitments. We're all struggling with that side by side. And those of us that are into those kind of things are frustrated that the new generation, I hate to say that, isn't into those kind of things because it's not really an us versus them. It's an overall issue. There's a lot of financial burden that we're all fighting to try to take care of what our mission is. Yeah. It's a very good point. Other questions? This is great. I like questions.
As we mentioned earlier, we are having an event tomorrow.
Yeah.
Power Pool, which is all 4 of our local Rotary clubs are going to come together for a social event.
Yes.
And it's pretty powerful. We got 4 clubs.
Yeah.
It'd be a great opportunity for you to come in and network and talk to other people.
Yes. Yeah, and are those 4 here at the lake?
Yeah,
all across the lake.
There's 4 clubs in the lake here.
Oh, Hamilton, or do we also get into Versailles? And
We got Lake Ozark Daybreak, Lake Ozark Noon, Camden. We're the oldest club.
Okay.
And then we actually satellited Sunrise Beach.
Yeah.
So they performed out of our. So that's
Love that. Love that. Yes. Because here at the lake, doesn't matter what part of the lake we are, we all speak the same language. We share the same places. And so I think that's great.
So
So
disagree with some things. East side. East side a little different than us.
Oh, different, most definitely. Well, different for sure. Yes, so the denomination I'm part of, the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, we have a church in Lake Ozark, Eldon, Golden Beach, and then Westlake up in Lori. And we all speak, we're very different what our churches are, but we all share the same stuff. We all get custard at Andy's, for instance. You know what I mean? We go to the same restaurants and so that's what I like about it. But you're right, totally different situations, yet we share the same space. Yeah. Cool. And so where's the event tomorrow? I need to follow up.
At Short Lake Brewery,
Okay.
which is just south of Camden on Business 5.
Yeah.
The old
The
dog-
new. Yes, the new. Yes.
Freshmans.
Yep. Right across from the middle school. Yes. Not going to. Yes. 6 to 8. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
That way you can check out which kind of club you want. Camden's the best.
Well, of course, and you're the oldest, so yeah, right. Cool. Any other questions or?
Thank you very much.